Marriage is for better or worse.
Please let me go. Please, let me go back. I don't belong here.
In the days of our ancestors, when festivals joined hearts, one Median's wedding opened the door to the spirit world. She rejected every living man, but the one she finally married had no life in him at all. Long ago, beyond the dusty red roads and waving palm trees of the eastern lands, there lay a peaceful village called Mbachu. The village rested between thick forests and a gentle river that never ran dry. At dawn, mist floated over the farmlands, and at sunset, the sky glowed like burning gold. The people of Mbachu were farmers, hunters, and traders. They believed strongly in tradition, in the gods of the land, and in the words of their ancestors. Among all who lived there, one name was spoken more than any other: Ugomma. She was the only daughter of a respected hunter, Okereke, and his soft-spoken wife, Nneka. From childhood, Ugomma was different. Her skin glowed like polished bronze under the sun. Her eyes were large and calm, like the village river. And when she smiled, even quarrels ended. Her beauty was not the loud kind that demanded attention. It was the kind that held the eyes captive. By the time she came of age, her fame had traveled beyond Mbach. From Oboba, Amafo, and even distant Akuzo, young men came with gifts, fat antelopes from successful hunts, baskets of fresh yams, palm wine. Ugomma's father's compound was never empty. Every morning, new gifts lay at the entrance like offering to a shrine. Yet, Ugomma remained calm and unmoved. Her closest companion were two maidens she grew up with: Adak, lively and talkative, and Isioma, quiet and thoughtful. The three of them fetched water together, laughed together, and shared secrets under the moonlight. But there was one thing that made Ugomma different. She was exceptionally selective about marriage. "I will not marry because of gifts," she once told her friends. "I will marry the man my heart chooses." Adak would laugh. "Your heart is too proud." Isoma would smile gently. "Or maybe your heart is waiting." Every year, Mbach held Festival of Union, a sacred event where eligible men chose wives among the maidens of the land. Drums thundered, flutes sang, and dancers filled the village square. It was not just a celebration, it was a tradition blessed by their ancestors. That year, excitement was greater than ever. "Many men are coming for Ugomma," the women whispered. "This year she must choose," the elders said. The day arrived. The entire village gathered in colorful wrappers and beads. The air smelled of roasted meat and palm wine. Drums rolled like thunders as the king of Mbach, King Agunaya I, entered the square, dressed in red collar beads and a lion skin robe. The crowd bowed. The chief priest stepped forward, his body painted in white chalk. He lifted a kola nut to the sky, murmured ancient incantations, and broke it upon the earth. "The festival begins," he declared. One by one, maidens danced into the arena, gracefully. Men stepped forward to tap the shoulders of the ones they desired. Adak was choosing. Isoma was choosing. So were many others. Then Ugomma stepped forward. The crowd gasped. Her wrapper shimmered. Beads rested gently on her neck. She danced lightly, like the wind itself. One man stepped forward. She shook her head. Another came. She refused again. A third, fourth, and fifth. Her voice remained soft but firm. I am sorry. By sunset, every maiden has been chosen except Ugomma. The young men who had traveled miles left heartbroken. The drum fell silent. The festival ended. That night, Ugomma lay awake, so deep in thought. For the first time, her heart was not proud but afraid. When fear entered the heart, days passed. The village buzzed with wedding preparations. Adak and Ugomma were busy, weaving wrappers and learning the ways of their future husband's home. Ugomma watched them quietly. Soon, they would leave. The compound that once felt warm began to feel empty. What if I remained alone? She wondered. What if no one comes again? The confidence that once filled her now trembled like a leaf in the wind. One morning, Ugomma went with her duck and Ugomma to fetch water at the stream. Birds sang above, and the water shimmered under the sun. As they filled their pots, footsteps approached. A stranger stood before them. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes that seemed deep and knowing. His voice was smooth. Greetings, maidens of Mbach. Ugomma's heart skipped. It was as though she had known him before. They spoke briefly. He smiled often. His words were gentle. Before leaving, he said, I will return on the next Ekemake Day. Ugomma's heart blossomed like flower in the rain. Eke Day came. Ugomma waited from morning till sunset. He did not come. Her joy turned to ashes. But the next day, Oyemake Day, he appeared, dressed neatly with friends beside him. I have come to ask for Ugomma's hand in marriage. It was strange because Ugomma does not know where he's from or his people. But out of desperation, Ugomma gladly accepted. Ugomma's parents had some doubts, but still they gave their blessings. Joy swallowed her doubts. The marriage rites were performed quickly. Palm wine was shared. Blessings were spoken. Ugomma followed her new husband to his home. He did not know she was walking into the words of death. Night fell. A strange cold filled the house. Then came whispers, footsteps without bodies. Figures emerged from the darkness. They were not human. They were spirits. Her husband turned to her, and his smile changed. I am Emeka of Uba village. He said, I died on my way to my own wedding. A truck crushed my body. Only my head remained whole. I swore I would still marry, even as a ghost. Before her eyes, his arms fell. His legs dropped. The body parts he had borrowed were taken by the ghostly friends. Only his head remained. Ugomma screamed. Please let me go, she cried. But the head spoke calmly. Please, marriage is for better or worse. Ugomma's scream poured through the spirit house like a blade, but no one came. No human could hear a cry made in the land between the living and the dead. The head of Emeka floated before her, his eyes glowing faintly like dying embers. Do not waste your voice, he said calmly. You crossed into our world the moment you stepped past the doorway. Ugomma trembled. Her wrapper felt heavy. The air smelled of damp earth and old graves. Around her, shadow figures moved, half-shaped beings. Some had no faces. She fell to her knees. I did not know. Please, let me return to my parents. The spirits began to murmur. She is warm. She is alive. Her breath still carries the sun. Emeka's head turned sharply towards them. "She is my wife," he said, "and she will stay." There was no sunrise there, no birth, no true light. Ugomma was not beaten. She was not chained, but she was washed. Everywhere she went, shadows followed. Food appeared before her, but it was tasteless, like chewing smoke. She remembered the festival, her pride, her refusals. Now she would have chosen any of those men. But regrets cannot open doors already shut. Days passed in the human world. Then it was time for a sacred tradition. In Mbach, no marriage was complete until the husband invited the bride's family to his home. It was called Ihulodi, seeing the husband's house. The bride's family would carry gifts, palm oil, yam, dried fish, wrappers, kola nuts. They will bless the home, and the groom's people will cook and welcome them. But Ugomma's husband had not invited anyone. Nneka, her mother, grew uneasy. "This is not our way," she said. Okereke the hunter agreed. No man hits his home unless something is wrong. One morning, they prepared a new way. "If he does not invite us," Okereke said, "we will go ourselves." They gathered gifts. Relatives joined. Elders came along. They followed the road Ugomma had taken the day she left. It led not towards Ububwa village, but towards the forest. Deep, too deep. Birds stopped singing. The air grew cold. An elder stopped walking. "This path is not for the living," he whispered. But Okereke continued. "I will not abandon my daughter," he said. Ugomma felt something change, like sunlight touching her back. She looked towards the doorway of the spirit house. For the first time, Emeka looked uneasy. "Your people are near," he said slowly. Fear spread among the spirits. They must not enter. The living brings fire. They carry the breath of the sun. Ugomma's heart pounded. Among those who walked with Okereke was an old Dibia, a spiritual healer named Ezani. He carried white chalk, a staff of Oho tree wood, a small god of sacred water. Before them stood a house, but it shimmered half real, half mist. "This is no human dwelling," Ezani said. He drew a line on the ground with chalk. "Only those with strong hearts may cross." Okereke stepped forward. The moment they crossed, the spirit house shook. The grey light flickered. The Dibia poured sacred water on the ground. Smoke rose. The spirits shrieked as if burned. Ugomma ran towards the doorway. "Father!" Okereke heard her voice, faint, like an echo under the water. Emeka's head rose into the air. "She is my wife. You cannot take her." The Dibia struck his staff on the ground. "Marriage between the living and the dead is forbidden," the Dibia shouted. "Ugomma, do not eat their food. Do not answer if they call your name." She covered her ears and ran. The doorway began to close, like fog sealing a path. Okereke leaped forward and grabbed his daughter's hand. Her skin was ice cold. Emeka screamed, his voice now monstrous. "If she lives, she leaves her shadow behind." The Dibia threw white chalk into the air. It burst like light. Father and daughter fell across the chalk line. Back into the forest, the house vanished. Silence returned. Ugomma breathed hard. She was alive, but the Dibia's face was grave. She returned, but not whole. At night, Ugomma did not sleep. She stared into darkness. Sometimes she whispered to someone unseen. Sometimes her shadow moved when she did not. The spirit had lost her body, but part of her still belongs to them, and Emeka was not done. Ugomma returned from spirit world, but she was not whole. In the daytime, she walked like before. She spoke, she ate, she sat with her mother. But when the sun went down, she became quiet. Her eyes followed things no one else could see. And sometimes, her shadow did not follow her at all. Children began to whisper, "She walks, but the ground does not keep her shape." Ezani the Dibia studied Ugomma in silence. Then he said, "The spirits kept part of her Mmụọ, her shadow soul. Without it, she will slowly fade into their world." Nneka began to cry. "Can she be saved?" "Yes," the Dibia said. "We must go where the living do not walk." The whole village gathered at the forest edge at midnight. A sacred circle was drawn with white chalk. In the center stood Ugomma. Around her were placed a mirror, a bowl of river water, a roaster, a childhood beads, soil from her father's compound. The Dibia began chanting ancient words. Drums beat slowly, like a heart. He lifted the mirror before Ugomma's face. "Call your shadow," he said. Her voice trembled. "Onyiyom, come back to me." The air grew heavy. Mist clouded along the ground. Then, inside the mirror, a dark shape moved. It was her shadow, but it looked thin, stretched, bound by invisible ropes. The spirits had tied it to their world. Wind rolled through the trees. A voice echoed, Emeka's. "She is mine. You cannot break a marriage sworn in the spirit land." The circle of shock began to crack. Villagers stepped back in fear. But Okereke did not move. "She is my daughter before she was your wife." The spirit house appeared again, half in the air, half on earth. Emeka's floating head emerged, eyes burning. Behind him were the spirits. The Dibia struck his staff 3 times. Fire rose from the shock line. "Ugomma," he shouted, "look only at your reflection." She stared into the mirror. Her shadow reached towards her, but chains of dark smoke pulled it back. The Dibia poured sacred water over Ugomma's head. She screamed, not in fear, but in strength. "I belong to the living." The mirror shattered. Light burst outward like lightning. The shadow broke free. It flew into her body. At once, Ugomma collapsed. Emeka's head cracked like clay. The spirit house dissolved into dust. Silence returned to the forest. When Ugomma woke up at dawn, her shadow lay beside her, full, whole. The Dibia smiled. "It is finished." She later married a kind farmer from Amafo village, a man who came with honesty, not mystery. And every festival of union after that, elders would say, "If you ever walk a lonely road at night and someone calls your name from the darkness, do not answer. It may be your shadow they want." Moral lesson: beauty should have wisdom, and not every smiling stranger comes from the land of the living. This is the end of my story.